Everything you thought you knew about loyalty in professional wrestling just got shattered into a million pieces, and I'm not talking about some scripted betrayal that we could see coming from a mile away. What happened on Monday Night Raw wasn't just shocking, it was the kind of raw, unfiltered chaos that makes you question whether anything in this business is sacred anymore. Dominik Mysterio, the man who's been playing the disrespectful heir apparent for months, just pulled off the heist of the century, and he had help from the last person anyone expected. Penta'S, that Penta decided that his debut moment would be better spent causing absolute mayhem than making a clean first impression. The title changed hands in the most controversial way possible, and social media is absolutely exploding right now. If you're not furious, confused, or jumping out of your seat, then you clearly haven't seen what went down. This isn't just another championship change, this is a declaration of war that's going to reshape everything we thought we knew about the power structure in WWE. And before we dive into this absolute carnage, do me a favor and smash that like button, because trust me, you're going to want to remember where you were when you heard about this complete destruction of the status quo. Drop a comment telling me if you think this was the biggest screwjob of the year or if you saw this coming, and make sure you hit subscribe because Ring Rumble is the only place giving you the unfiltered truth about what's really happening in the wrestling world. Now let's break down how everything went straight to hell. The match started like any other championship defense. The energy in the arena was electric, the crowd was split down the middle, and both competitors looked like they were ready to leave everything in that ring. The champion came out with that swagger, that confidence that only comes from holding gold and knowing you've earned every single defense. The build-up had been intense, with weeks of back-and-forth promos, near confrontations, and the kind of tension that makes championship matches feel important again. Dominik Mysterio walked down that ramp with his usual arrogance, playing to the crowd's hatred like he was conducting a symphony of boos. But there was something different in his eyes tonight, a desperation that even his cocky demeanor couldn't completely hide. This wasn't just about proving himself anymore. This was about finally stepping out of every shadow that's ever been cast over him and claiming something that would force everyone to take him seriously, regardless of his last name. The opening minutes of the match were technical perfection. Chain wrestling, reversals, and near falls that had the crowd gasping with every 2 count. Both men were executing their game plans flawlessly, and it looked like we were in for a classic that would be talked about for months. The champion was working over Dominik's arm, setting up for that submission finish that's put away so many challengers before. Dominik was playing his role perfectly, selling the injury while looking for any opening to strike with that opportunistic offense that's become his trademark. Every time it looked like the champion was about to put Dominik away, the challenger would find some desperate counter, some last-second escape that kept his hopes alive. The referee was in perfect position, the commentary team was building the drama beautifully, and absolutely nobody in that building or watching at home had any idea that we were about to witness something that would break wrestling social media for the next 72 hours straight. Around the 15-minute mark, things started getting physical in a different way. The action spilled to the outside, and both competitors were using every inch of ringside to their advantage. The champion hit a devastating suicide dive that sent Dominik crashing into the barricade, and for a moment, it looked like this match was about to reach its conclusion. The crowd was on their feet, counting along as the referee started the countout, and Dominik looked legitimately hurt, clutching his ribs and struggling to get back to his feet. But then something happened that nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, could have predicted. The lights in the arena flickered. Just for a second, just enough to make everyone pause and wonder if there was a technical issue. And then the music hit. Penta'S music erupted through the arena sound system, and the place went absolutely ballistic. This was the debut everyone had been waiting for, the signing that had been rumored and speculated about for weeks. But this wasn't how it was supposed to happen. This wasn't a scheduled appearance or a carefully orchestrated moment at the top of the show. This was Penta choosing chaos over protocol, and that choice was about to cost someone everything. He walked out onto that stage with a purpose, his mask gleaming under the arena lights, and every single person in that building was trying to figure out what his intentions were. Was he there to make a statement? Was he scouting future competition? Was this just a mind game to announce his presence? The answer came faster than anyone could have imagined, and it was worse than any worst-case scenario. The champion, distracted by Penta'S appearance, had stopped his offensive onslaught and was staring at the stage, trying to assess this new threat. The referee was looking between the action and the entrance ramp, clearly confused about whether he should be doing something about this interruption. And Dominik, still on the outside, suddenly didn't look hurt anymore. That grimace of pain vanished, replaced by something that looked almost like recognition, like he knew something the rest of us didn't. Penta started walking down that ramp, slow and deliberate, and with every step, the tension in the arena multiplied. The champion positioned himself in the ring, ready for whatever was coming, and you could see him mouthing something to Penta, probably asking what he was doing out here, demanding to know what his problem was. Penta reached ringside, and for a moment, everything seemed to freeze. The champion was in the ring, Dominik was on the outside, and Penta was standing at the apron, his intentions still completely unclear. And then he moved. But he didn't slide into the ring to confront the champion like everyone expected. He turned toward Dominik, and what happened next will be debated, analyzed, and argued about until the end of time. There was contact. There was definitely contact between Penta and the champion when the referee's attention was on Dominik. Whether it was a strike, a distraction, or something else entirely, the camera angles haven't given us a completely clear picture. But what we do know is that in the confusion, in that moment of chaos, Dominik rolled back into the ring, the champion was down, and everything went straight to hell. Dominik didn't hesitate. He saw his opportunity and he took it with the kind of ruthless efficiency that makes you wonder if this whole thing was planned from the very beginning. He hit his finish, that move he's been perfecting for months, and the champion had no defense, no awareness, no chance to kick out. The referee, having missed whatever involvement Penta had, counted the 3. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, we had a new champion. The arena exploded in a mix of shock, anger, and disbelief. Dominik grabbed the title belt like his life depended on it, clutching it to his chest as he rolled out of the ring. Penta stood at ringside, his expression completely unreadable behind that mask, and then he simply walked away. No celebration. No acknowledgement of what he'd just done. He just left, leaving behind absolute carnage and a million questions that nobody has answers to. The aftermath was pure pandemonium. The former champion was in the ring, arguing with the referee, demanding that the decision be reversed. Security was trying to keep ringside clear as Dominik celebrated up the ramp, holding the title high above his head with a smile that could only be described as absolutely demented. The commentary team was in complete disarray, trying to explain what had just happened while simultaneously expressing their own shock and outrage. And the WWE universe, both in the arena and watching at home, was having a complete meltdown. Social media immediately caught fire with hot takes, conspiracy theories, and demands for answers. How long had this been planned? Was Penta in on it from the beginning, or did he just take advantage of a chaotic moment? What does this mean for the championship division? Is this title change even going to stand, or will WWE management step in and declare the result invalid? The questions just keep piling up, and that's exactly what makes this moment so captivating. This wasn't a clean finish that we can analyze and move on from. This was messy, controversial, and the kind of chaos that creates storylines for months to come. Dominik Mysterio is now a champion, but he's a champion with the biggest asterisk in WWE history attached to his reign. Every defense he has from this point forward will be tainted by the question of whether he could have won that title without interference. Every promo he cuts will be interrupted by fans chanting about how he's a fraud. And Penta, the man who was supposed to debut as a potential hero, a fresh face for the WWE roster, has instead announced his presence by involving himself in someone else's moment and creating controversy instead of earning respect. The most frustrating part about all of this is how perfectly it plays into Dominik's entire character arc. He's been telling us for months that he's tired of living up to impossible expectations, tired of being judged by his family name, tired of playing by rules that he thinks are designed to keep him down. And now he's proven that he's willing to do whatever it takes, align himself with whoever he needs to, and embrace whatever chaos comes his way if it means he gets to hold that championship. It's the ultimate heel move, but it's also backed by a twisted logic that makes it almost impossible to completely dismiss him as just another cheating villain. He saw an opportunity created by circumstances beyond his control, and he capitalized on it with zero hesitation. Is that opportunism, or is that championship mentality? The answer probably depends on whether you're a fan of his or not. And what about the former champion? This person just lost their title in the most controversial circumstances possible through absolutely no fault of their own. They were wrestling the match of their life, executing their game plan perfectly, and then had everything stolen from them by an outside force they couldn't have anticipated or defended against. The case for an immediate rematch is overwhelming, but even if that happens, the damage is already done. The title is gone. The reign is over. And no matter what happens next, there will always be that question of what if Penta hadn't shown up. That's the kind of thing that can define a championship run in retrospect, turning what should have been a triumphant defense into a footnote marked by controversy. If you're as fired up about this as I am, show some love to this video. Hit that like button, share this with everyone in your wrestling group chats who are probably arguing about this right now, and if you haven't subscribed to Ring Rumble yet, I need you to do that immediately. We're a community here, a family of wrestling fans who aren't afraid to speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable. And right now, the truth is that WWE just created the most controversial moment of the year, and we're going to be here breaking down every development, every consequence, and every twist that comes from this absolute insanity. Your support means everything because it allows us to keep bringing you this content without holding back, without sugarcoating, and without pretending that what we just witnessed was anything other than complete chaos. The real story is just beginning. We're going to see fallout from this that extends far beyond just these three individuals. Management will have to address what happened. Other wrestlers will have to position themselves in response to this new power dynamic. And somewhere in all of this chaos, there are opportunities for new storylines, new feuds, and new moments that could be just as shocking as what we witnessed tonight. Wrestling thrives on controversy, on moments that make us feel something real even though we know it's sports entertainment. And whether you loved what happened or absolutely hated it, you felt something. That's what makes this business special, and that's why nights like this remind us why we became wrestling fans in the first place.